Hello, everyone, and welcome to our We Meet at Digital Days. My name is Eleni Stark, and I will moderate this presentation now. We are very pleased that you took the time to participate this morning. The topic of this presentation is Connect from Anywhere, Surprise, Pre-announcement of a Global Connectivity Product. Our speakers are Ravindra Singh and Gopi Patel. They will hold today's presentation and also will answer your questions afterwards. Before we start with the presentation itself, I will point out one thing. You are muted during this presentation. This means that you cannot ask us questions via microphone. Nevertheless, you have always the opportunity to ask us all your questions via our chat or question function. You'll find it in the control panel. The presentation itself will be about 30 to 35 minutes long. The chat questions will then be answered in a Q&A session following the presentation. There are 5 to 10 minutes in addition scheduled for this. If we are unable to answer all your questions within this time, we will answer them via email afterwards. If you still have any other questions left, don't hesitate, just email us at exhibition@we-online.com. We will try to answer all questions promptly. At the end of the presentation, you'll be asked to participate in a feedback survey. We would be very pleased if you take your time to fill out the survey and help us to improve our event. You will receive the link to the presentation in the next few days, and the recording of this webinar will be available at our website. Now I will hand over to our speaker, Ravindra, and I wish you an exciting webinar.
Good morning. My name is Gopi, and I am a field applications engineer at UK. And it is an opportunity for us to present and inaugurate a brand new product called, let me leave that name to Ravindra. It's a very nice product, and I welcome you on board for a next 30-minute flight. Let's enjoy more. And I hand over to our product manager, Ravindra Singh, and he's based in Germany. Over to you, Ravindra.
Thank you very much, Gopi. And before starting, I will give a small introduction. I am Ravindra Singh. I'm working as a product manager for Würth Elektronik eiSos since last 3 years almost. And I am here responsible for the cellular business. So let's start. Now sit back, relax, and pay your attention. Grab the coffee. And next 30 minutes will empower your electronics knowledge and sure to be useful in your career. I hope so. And as it's already been communicated that you can submit your questions with slide number via chat, and I will try to answer. If there are few questions which we cannot answer within this time, we will later answer through email. So today's agenda is first we will discuss about the IoT connectivity options globally available and what Würth Elektronik is offering for our customers, and then later we will discuss about the cellular. So how this cellular business is evolved from 1G up to nowadays. You will be hearing quite a lot about the 5G. Then we will see the worldwide phasing out plan for 2G and 3G and how you can make use of it and use our own module or the solution which we are introducing in the market. Then LT network architecture we will discuss so that you will have fair idea how really LT works. Everybody talks a lot about LT or 5G, but we will tell you some basic things how it really works in real environment. Then we'll talk about the comparisons and more details about LT Cat-M and NB-IoT. And certification process, it's really important and very complex process if you'll see in case of cellular. We will also discuss about that and how we are solving the complex certification problem. Finally, we will discuss about few key features about our hardware module cellular, which is Adrestia 1. So let's jump on to the. So this slide will first question comes in mind is what IoT is and what is the purpose of IoT. The main purpose of an IoT solution is to get the data from field up to the IoT platform on or the cloud. We call it cloud is nothing but some other computer where you can analyze this data and make use for your end applications, and you can predict or you can share with others this data. So there are multiple options available in the market for this connectivity, and it mainly decided based on your end application requirements, like the range in which you want this connectivity, whether it's short range, medium range, or long range, or kind of data rates which you need, power consumption. So all those parameters of your application will decide which solution you should use. And as you can see from this slide, there are options available for short to medium range. In unlicensed spectrum, what it means is that it's free licensed spectrum, kind of ISM band, where those technologies works, and they are licensed spectrum, especially those cellular based technologies where operator has to pay the fee and to get the license. And of course, if operator is paying the fee for the frequency, is deploying the network, he will charge the customer also. So these are few options available in Würth Elektronik. We offer almost Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, proprietary, and mesh kind of solutions for IoT connectivity. And as I have already told in previous slide, that the option to choose the connectivity depends on your coverage, current consumption, cost, and data rates. And here is one kind of kind of flow chart which will give you overview of how you can choose the connectivity and what are all options Würth Elektronik offers. So if you'll see from this chart, generally the connectivity options are divided in two parts. One is the small range and other is the long range. Small range typically is within the 1,000 meters, while the long range is more than 1,000 meters. But they are their own advantage and disadvantage. If you go with the small range, you need the gateways, because gateways are the ones which will collect the data from these modules or the end nodes and then send it across to internet. So these gateways sometimes are very power hungry, they are costly. The other idea is to use the cellular, because in cellular they are long range. Mostly if you see, we are already using LTE kind of technologies in our mobile phones. So they are kind of, you don't need any extra gateways to send the data, but you have to pay the connectivity fee per month basis or per year basis. So if you want to learn more about our products, you can of course visit our website. So now the next slide is about the advantages which cellular connectivity offers over the short range connectivities. As we are already using this cellular technologies like 2G, 3G, or LTE in our cellular phones, which we carry daily. So it has the global coverage, we could easily see it. And since it has the global coverage, it offers the roaming. So that's the major advantage, and secure and reliable transmission. So then these cellular technologies was evolved or was introduced, they already have inbuilt authentication and security procedures which make sure that your data is securely reaching to the end node. It's the standardized. What it means is that the 3GPP or third generation partners project develops these, is responsible for these specifications, and all kind of companies like manufacturers of devices or the network operators, they participate, they discuss, and then they decide the specifications. So it's not controlled by any of the one company. When where there is risk, when the company goes down, all the technology goes down. And network quality of service, of course, because you are paying the fee for the network operator to take the service like SMS or data or voice, whatever. So its responsibility, or the operator is contractually bound to provide you better network quality. A certified device access, what it means is that certified device access the cellular network, and this enables the efficient utilization of licensed spectrum, and it minimizes the risk. So that is another advantage of cellular technology over the other short range technologies. So here I will discuss about the evaluation. If you'll see the 1G, it was long time back, and that was the time for analog communication, which started off mainly for the voice. And in the later, it expanded in 2G, where the digital communication was introduced, and new feature along with voice was introduced, like SMS, or the short message service. Now it's dying. Nobody is using much about the SMS, but that was kind of a new evaluation at that point of time, and it was introduced somewhere in 1990s, and we have seen all this in front of our eyes. Now the 3G was, the main purpose of 3G was to enhance the data rate. Data rate means the data rate which can be used for sharing your pictures, or kind of MMS, all those kind of capabilities. But this 3G was evolved, and later the LTE. So the main purpose of LTE evaluation was to enhance the data rate, so that along with your media, your voice can also be transferred over the as a data. So like VoLTE, voice over LTE, all those features were introduced in LTE, and main purpose was to simplify the network infrastructure, because earlier there was 2G and 3G kind of infrastructure along with the LTE. So they simplified the complex infrastructure, plus they enhanced the data rates. And the evaluation does not stop here, it continued. And what happens is that they divided into different legs. The upper leg went for higher data rates. So the evaluation for higher data rates continued. Like if you have heard of LT Cat 4, Cat 12, where they are targeting kind of a few hundred Mbps to few Gbps of data rates, while the other leg was introduced to have the low to medium data rate kind of applications, where we have kind of IoT applications, but the coverage should be broader and power consumption should be low, because the other technologies which are higher data, which are targeting the higher data rate, were not optimized for the power consumption. That was the difference. And these both legs will connect to 5G use cases, if you have already heard of, where they are targeting 3 different use cases in 5G. So like enhanced broadband, mobile broadband, and ultra reliability low latency communication. So these 2 use cases they are targeting is with the higher data rates, while the kind of IoT communication, where they have some requirements of that more than 1 million device can connect to certain base stations. So those kind of, and low bandwidth, low cost, all those use cases they are targeting with the evaluation of LT CAT-M and NB-IoT. By the way, does anybody know what LT means here? LT means is long-term evaluation. Okay, so like in old days we have seen VHS cassettes, tape recorders, or any dial-up modems which are already disappeared from our office. So lots of recent technologies are also vanishing. faster than even we think of. So this is the information which I have tried to capture from different sources from the internet. And here you can see that most of the country has already decided that they are going to switch off or the phase out 2G and 3G technologies. So, and few of the reports are in the market, they are saying that it is expected that 2025 onwards, only the 5G and 4G connections will grow. 2G, 3G either will be switched off or it will be in the decreasing side. So this is the time, if you all are already using 2G or 3G connectivity in your solution, to switch or to think about it at least. So here I will try to explain some little bit of in broader level LT network architecture. I will not discuss each and every component, but on broader level, so that you will have the fair understanding how your data is sent from your device up to cloud. So IoT device has already, let's say, embedded LT connectivity. This device is deployed in field. Then this device will transmit the data. First of all, it collects the data from sensor or from GNSS, anything. Later, it will transmit the data over LT network to LT base station. And LT base station is eventually connected to LT core network. This will be taken care by network operator. We don't have to worry. And then finally, it goes to cloud platform or your own system, wherever you want to take your data. So to give you an example, here is one example where one device is connected to your for the predictive maintenance, where the sensors are collecting the data about the device or about the machinery health. They are sending LT connectivity is being used to transmit this data from your device up to the network, where you have LT base stations, and then this eventually forwards data to LT core network, and then finally this data reaches to cloud or your own system. So this is the place. Cloud is nothing but the other system, you can say others computer, where you can, since now data is available on your cloud, you can visualize it, you can make use of it, and you can see the health of your machinery, you can predict the maintenance. So all those kind of propositions you can do with that data which is available here onto your cloud. So now comparison of LTM and NB-IoT. Both LTM and NB-IoT are two new standards, as we have seen already in previous slides from the 3GPP, and they were introduced to cater the market of low power wide area networks. And LTM and NB-IoT features are mainly, as I have discussed already, that low power consumption, wide coverage, massive connectivity, and lower cost. And this LTM and NB-IoT enable a wide range of IoT applications where low cost, low power consumption, and good building penetrations are important. Oh, sorry, I forget to click the slide. So this will give you some comparison between LT-CATM and NB-IoT. So here you can see that generally NB-IoT is suitable for the applications that only need to transmit the small data, or they are fixed at one level, because NB-IoT does not support the mobility. And the gap between where you need the mobility with higher data rates, the CATM is the one which can be used. Anyways, does anyone knows this what LTM stands for? So let me try to answer. LTM is the long-term evaluation machine type communication, while the NB-IoT stands for narrowband IoT. So as you can see, narrowband has lower bandwidth. That means lower data rate. while the CAT-M has the higher bandwidth, also means that it has the higher data rates. So you have to decide based on your end application use cases. And mobility support, you can see NB IoT does not support the in-connection mobility, but the CAT-M supports the in-connection mobility. So the asset type of application where you want to track some vehicle or anything where CAT-M can be used to track those kind of applications. Yeah. So now the cellular certification process. First question which comes in our mind is why we need the certification. So here is the purpose of the certification. First thing is that it ensures that there is no adverse effect. What it means is that certification ensures that IoT devices which has been certified do not have any adverse effect on the network or on the device which are in same proximity. It also ensures interoperability. So certification ensures that IoT devices work as intended when connected to the network or partner network in case of roaming. And there are three types of certifications. First is the regulatory certification, which are mandatory for any kind of RF devices. You have already seen, like Europe, we have the CE marking mandatory for any of the RF certification, and for US we have FCC. So every country has its own set of regulations which we have to follow if you want to sell the devices in that market. The very different certification types, which is only for cellular, is the industry certifications, where GCF global certification form. So this is the operators which demands GCF certification before providing the connectivity. And then finally it goes the operator specific certifications. So this operator specific certifications are like Deutsche Telekom or Vodafone or AT&T, any of the operators. They first ask for the GCF certification or the PTCRB in case of US. Then they do, because every operator has its own set of specifications or set of settings in the network. They changes over the different regions or the countries. So they have to first check whether your device does not harming their network. So that's why the first demand is the industry certification, which is GCF in case of Europe and Asia, while in case of US it is the PTCRB. Then finally they check your device based on their own network settings. So this is very complex, time consuming, plus you have to invest lots of money also. Now what we have done is to solve this issue, we partner with Deutsche Telekom, where we are taking care of the industry certification plus mobile operator specific certification. Only if you integrate our hardware in your end device, you need to take care is regulatory certification. What it means is that we already have the certification from Deutsche Telekom, and you need to integrate our solution along with Deutsche Telekom connectivity. Then you don't need to undergo again the industry certification and mobile operator specific certification. So I will explain in next slide in more details about this. So this is the normal certification process where you have to undergo the three types of certifications like CE, GCF, as we have already discussed, and finally Vodafone, Deutsche Telekom. And it costs a lot in terms of time, money. You need expertise also, so that you can understand that certification processes. But we have partnered, as you can see, with the Deutsche Telekom. So what you need is you need to take the hardware from us. which is already Deutsche Telekom certified, and you don't have to undergo any other certification except CE, because CE is a regulatory certification which is required by each of the country, because it's the law of land you have to follow and you have to undergo. Like CE is for only for Europe. If you want to sell your device in US, you need FCC. So those kind of regulatory certification is mandatory for any type of device or the RF modules. So here I am little bit running out of time, so you can read the benefits of what benefits we are bringing when we are cooperating with the Deutsche Telekom. So here, this slide will give you the idea how it is easy to integrate cellular technology or cellular connectivity in your device. Our module, which is also known as Adastya 1, is already certified from Deutsche Telekom. So we are taking care of all the certification cost and everything. Then you need to take the connectivity from Deutsche Telekom. Connectivity means IoT SIM cards. And then you need to certify is the CE certification. So in that case, you are saving the cost and the time for the GCF and the operator specific certification. Finally, your design is ready to use, very easy. And another advantage is that we are not binding the customers to use our own platform. They can use whichever platform publicly, or they can take the data to their own platforms also, like Azure, AWS, Cloud, Google Cloud, or anything. So that's another added advantage. So now here I will discuss few minutes about the Adastya key features. It supports CAT-M and NB-IoT. What is the, because it's dual mode connectivity solution, and it has the advantage. What those advantages that, let's say in some country you do not have the coverage for CAT-M, then it will automatically switch, fall back onto the NB-IoT. Positioning. For most of the IoT kind of solutions, it is required sometimes to have the location of that device. So we have embedded GNSS, which supports GPS and GLONASS systems. This is another added advantage, integrated MCU. This is exclusively for customer application firmware. It's not shared between modem and application controller. So you don't need any extra external controller. You can use our ARM Cortex M4, which has 1 MB of flash especially for the applications, and dedicated RAM, which is for this MCU only. Some other advantages are with respect to interface. We have almost all the interfaces which are widely used in the industry, I2C, SPI, UART, and protocols. We have already integrated all the most widely used protocols in the world of IoT inside our module. So you don't have to worry about details of these protocols. We are providing AT command manuals through which AT commands you can configure these protocols and you can send your data very easily. Our modem firmware is release 13 compliant of 3GPP, and it is upgradable to release 14 in future. And firmware we can upgrade either using the serial port of USB interface, or you can upgrade over the air also. So some added values, as I am running out of time, so I will not discuss each and everything, but we are providing the evaluation boards in evaluation kit, where we will have the evaluation boards, antennas for GNSS and LTE. So it's kind of you can quickly take it out and do your prototyping. And we are providing this SDK on which you can do the prototyping of your end applications. We are providing one industry commander tool through which you can control whole of the module, and also you can check the GNSS functionality, which is already embedded in our LT module. And there is also one small tab for data usage consumption, where you can fill few of the details and it will give you the approximate data consumption which you need for your end application. As I have already told that we have the partnership with Deutsche Telekom, and there are few key features or the advantages which we are bringing when we partner with Deutsche Telekom, apart from certification, which we are already discussed. So the fee or the charges which they have given to us are independent of technology. Whether you use the NB-IoT or CAT-M, it is the same charges. And there's no roaming charges, neither onto that Deutsche Telekom's network as well as their partner network. So they have partnered with different other operators for the roaming in different countries. I will provide the list of that, which is as of today. And it is the message-based pricing. What it means is that they are not charging extra based on data consumption. It is the based on fixed price for message based. They have is the you will have the option to choose the standard SIM as well as eSIM. Another advantage is that you can take the evaluation kit from us and you can order directly from Deutsche Telekom and Würth Elektronik portal the one starter kit SIM card, which is completely free of cost, through which you can evaluate your solution. You can see the connectivity, you can see the so it's free of cost, and so it's kind of for prototyping. You are just buying the evaluation kit from Würth Elektronik, and you can directly order from Würth Elektronik and Deutsche Telekom partnered portal the free SIM card. You can evaluate, and finally you can decide to order in big numbers of connectivity. As I have discussed in previous, that Deutsche Telekom has the coverage across Europe and UK. I have shown here because in many countries they have their own networks, while in different countries they are partnered with other operators also. So, and it is growing, the partnership is growing, and I have only shown is for Europe, but they have in US also. These are few application examples. These are not limited to these applications where our solution can be used. So one example is like industrial equipment monitoring, where you can use our module, and this module will transmit all the parameters, all the sensor data or location, everything up to the your LT through the LT network up to the IoT cloud platform. And there are other applications also where it can fit easily. So here, these are the abbreviations actually we have used across the presentations. I have put all together here, so you don't have to remember them, and you can easily refer when you want. So this is the summary. Now, since I am towards the ending of my presentation, now there are different connectivity options. What you have learned through these 30 minutes, I'm expecting, is that there are different ways to send the sensor data to cloud, and the worldwide plan of 2G and 3G phasing out, and what to do with different cellular technologies like normal 2G, 3G, or LTE, or higher data rate technologies. Then certifications are really important, and they are very complex in case of cellular. And I have also discussed about key features and benefits we are bringing with our Adastria 1 cellular module. So now you know how simple the cellular technology is. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you learn something new to make the business. Now we are welcome with any questions.
So thank you very much, Ravindra and Gopi, for this presentation. Like you already said, we would like to draw our attention now to the questions. And we could now wait a little until some questions have come in, but I already see that my colleague Gopi, he typed in 2 questions. We talked in the beginning about them because he said that these questions have frequently been asked by other customers. So we decided to also bring them here in this webinar and answer them now. So the first question from other customers is, how many packets can I send each day?
Okay, so since I will take you to that slide first. Yeah, so as I have already discussed that connectivity from Deutsche Telekom is based on message-based pricing. That means your device can send 120 messages per day on the fixed cost which is included. So, and these messages are independent of technology, whether you will send through NB-IoT or CAT-M, the charges are fixed. So, and the number of messages which your device can send per day is 120 messages per day. Is that answers your question?
I hope for the customers, yes. But if not, always please feel free to email us if you have any questions left, or you're too shy to ask your question now in the live webinar. That's okay for us as well. We will answer all your questions also in via email, so that's not a problem for us. Yeah, and Gopi also pasted me a second question that has been asked frequently from other customers. What is the payload per packet?
Okay, so payload size per packet is more than 100 bytes, and it depends which technology is being used, because there are 2 parts. One is that if your payload size is bigger than the which your air interface can push, it will break into 2 different messages, and then it will send across the towards the network side. So it's more than 100 bytes, and which is, I think, sufficient to send any kind of sensor data or your GNSS data. And moreover, we are also providing, as I have already discussed, the calculator, or which will give you the some kind of rough estimation that how much, if we'll say some payload size, if we'll convert it with the how much data it will consume over the period of time. That we are already integrated this solution in our Adastria Commander tool. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your answer. So now I check the question box once again. We're having 2 questions coming in. The first one is about something that you've shown already. Many operators worldwide have decided to switch off the 2G and 3G, and the question is, how does Adastria can help customers who already have the 2G and 3G connectivity in their products?
Okay, so here you can see that most of the operators has already decided that they will not continue the services 2025 onwards, especially for 2G and 3G networks. So the customers who are using 2G and 3G in their end solution, this is the high time they should focus, and they should try to replace those 2G and 3G connectivity solutions with the latest technology like we are offering in Adastria, which has support of CAT-M and NB-IoT, which can help them where the network for LTE-M is not available. It will automatically switch back to NB-IoT, and it will always we capable of sending the data from the network. So that is what we are offering. Plus, we are also simplified the certification processes, as we have already discussed for the Adastria. So Adastria is, I would say, is the perfect replacement for 2G and 3G kind of solutions, where 2G and 3G does not even was optimized for power consumptions. In Adastria, we have very low power consumptions, which will benefit them for IoT kind of devices where they are already using these solutions.
Thank you very much for that answer. So the next question we have is very simple. When will be the new module available?
Okay, so our launch date is in April. So it will be available from April onwards on our website. And for more details, you can contact, of course, with our sales team. They will give you more insights about availability of the module in different markets.
Thank you. We have one last question. It's regarding slide number 16. Maybe you can already switch to that.
Just give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's about the connectivity from Deutsche Telekom AG is message based, and how many messages can be sent per day?
Okay, so the messages which we have right now, agreement is for 120 messages per day per device. So if some customers, because what we did is we did lots of different applications kind of analysis, where we saw, okay, what is the in general the devices, how frequently they send the data, and we could cover that. If we can provide the 120 messages per day, most of the applications, IoT kind of application, can be benefited with that. So if there are few scenarios or the applications which demands more than 120 messages per day, we can discuss with the Deutsche Telekom to provide the that kind of flexibility. But as of now, it is restricted to send the only 120 messages per day per device.
Thank you, Ravindra. So we have one last question. It is what is accuracy of the GPS in the address tier?
Okay, so accuracy for GPS and GNSS in our module is 2.5 meter, and of course this accuracy depends on many things, like kind of signals which it is receiving from different satellite systems. But we have tested it in our laboratory environment, and we could see that the accuracy is up to 2.5 meter, which is quite good, I think, for GNSS and GPS along with LTE.
Okay. So now we already have come to our end of this presentation now. Thank you once again, Ravindra and Gopi, for this presentation. I would now like to draw the attention of our attendees just to the next presentation that is going to start at 1 p.m. Yep, we're now having lunch, and then we're going to be back for the next presentation, Security in IIoT Applications. We would like to see our attendees there once again, and thank you very much to both of you again. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you,
Bye.
Elena. Take care. Have a nice day, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.